Well, I had a couple of questions from a friend of mine. I'm not sure that I'll post this video, but um, anyway, making some beer tonight. So I thought I'd show, this is how I do it. This is kind of the expedited, efficient method. Um, yeah, nothing to it. So I have a batch down here now, which is a Cooper's English Bitter. What I do is I get these kits from my local brew supply. Nothing to it, they're pretty cheap. Um, they also supply sugar in the quantity that I need prepackaged, it's just in Ziploc bags. So I think it works out to about 18 bucks Canadian for, it works out to about 65 beers. So anyway, this is how I do it. For sterilizing, I use a sodium metabisulfite solution, which I keep in these bottles. You can reuse it numerous times. I sterilize the bucket, which I've already done. Sterilize everything, including your utensils. These ones have to be redone because I've already used them on that kit. Once you sterilize all your utensils, this is where I deviate from any kit instructions. I just take a simple kettle and I boil I think it holds I think it's a 1 3/4 liter-ish. And I boil that. You take your kit, you open it up, you take your sugar, you pour it in the bucket, and then add about half of the boiling kettle of water, and you mix it so you're only up a little bit over the bottom here, and you can dissolve most of the sugar. Add your kit and use the rest of the boiling water to flush out the can into the sterilized bucket, and then mix it thoroughly. And I bought a mixing paddle. I think it was like $2. It works way better than any other utensil. And once you get it up to there, this is kind of my method anyway. I take this bucket and I move it over here by the sink, and I take my trusty infrared thermometer and I just blast it at the side of the vessel. And from there, you want to pitch the yeast at about, well, depending on the kit, you're anywhere from 22 to 27 degrees Celsius-ish. So I just take my tap water. The tap water here is very good. I've already actually sterilized the tap and everything too, so everything's a mess right now, but I'll re-sterilize that. And you just pour the water into the bucket up until they make 23-liter mark. And you can just quite simply adjust your temperature on the faucet as you go, as you're using your infrared thermometer on the side of the bucket. And it's pretty thin plastic. It changes temperature pretty fast. You get a lot of conduction through, so you get a pretty accurate reading. As long as I think you get anywhere 8 or 10 degree swing to work with, as long as it's not too hot or too cold. And once you get it up to the 23-liter mark, you take your yeast and you pitch it. The yeast comes with the kits. In this case, these kits are a little old, so I'm giving them an extra batch of yeast. Make sure they take off and start working. I'll know probably pretty quick. This one actually is already starting to work, so I either got some really efficient yeast or I don't know what happened. But also, I keg my beer. I don't bottle it, so you'll notice I'm only at 20 liters-ish and not 23 liters. I do that deliberately because I don't want to bottle the remainder, and I get a bit more of a stronger brew, a little bit more body, a little bit more flavor, as long as you don't go overkill on the sugar. I cut it back by about a cup. So if you get too much alcohol, the head retention goes all to hell. So I take it up to around the 20-liter mark. That gives me a liter for sludge at the bottom, ish, maybe a bit more. And when I siphon into my keg, I just leave the sludge at the bottom. I don't do a secondary ferment, and I just let it age in the keg for, depending on the brew, a few days, week, whatever, couple weeks. In this case, the second batch is probably going to get several weeks of aging. And yeah, hook it up to the CO2 and you've got fresh beer on tap. Nothing to it.